I'm cutting all ties with you.
Let go of me.
I'm cutting all ties with you.
Let's get a divorce.
I want a divorce from you.
Get out of here. If it weren't for you stealing Yi Tongtong's boyfriend, how could she have stolen my man? I don't need a friend like you. You married Kang Jian. All you want is to climb the social ladder. I don't want to see you again. Get out.
Go! It's not like that. I don't want to see you again. It's not like that. Sorry. Just go! Ting ting! Wake up! Open the door. Don't do anything stupid. Please. Just listen to me.
Bai Yan, calm down. Liu Jing is really mad right now. She won't listen to anything. Just leave her alone. Let her calm down. Liu Jing is straightforward and never gives up easily. If you stay here, she'll get even angrier. 我催结婚吗？ Have a good rest. If T hears anything, just call me.
Thank you, Dr. Lung.
He's the guy who sent her paper roses. Bai Yan is eager to get divorced. All for him.
Who is he? Why are you crying?
I'm just having a deep self-reflection. Reflecting on myself, how I ended up as the home record.
Don't talk nonsense.
Am I talking nonsense? You are someone else. The boyfriend she did just one day before our wedding. You guys had sex 4 times that night. You even left your wedding ring on her bed. It was Yi Tongtong who specifically brought it to the dressing room.
Yutang came looking for you. I've had nothing to do with Comrade Leader.
I know far more than you think. After quite too long. Your ex-girlfriend stole Jing Jing's man she loved for How did this even happen? You know exactly.
I never thought it would come to this.
It's all because of you. Liu Jing is my only friend. And he got hurt just for being my friend. I tried to stay, but he told me to leave. I am like a weed. You can trample on me however you want. But not Liu Jing. Lisa Hao is her whole world.
Kang Jian, I really hate you.
Let go of me! I'm cutting all ties with you.
Let go of me.
I'm cutting all ties with you.
Let's get a divorce.
I want a divorce from you.
Bai Yan, about Yi Tongtong's matter. 好黑府
Let me go. Let go of me. Let me go. Let me go.
It's my fault.
Let's go back and have a meal first. After you were full, you can scold me again. Okay?
I can walk by myself.
Fly Fox, didn't we agree to split? Why are you back clinging to my son?
Eat first. Behave.
Did I hear that right?
Auntie Wu will make us 2 bowls of noodles.
I don't know how to make plain noodles. Aunt Wu is here to take care of me, not to serve others.
I'll make it. I'll make it.
When did Zheng Chenyu ever cook by himself?
How can you sit there so calmly? You eat our food, live in our house, and still make him the president of a Lucy Group cook for you personally. Ah, get a divorce! Get out of my son's house!
Mom, stop nagging.
Tianjin, you actually yelled at Mom for her!
Miss Lee, don't you know how generous your son is? For his 2-year girlfriend, the breakup fee was a sports car and an apartment. We're getting a divorce now. Logically, this apartment should be mine. So now it's you eating my food, living in my place. The one who should leave is you.
Fine. You finally admit you are after our family fortune.
What did you say? Snatch, whatever you want. I'll go to the hospital for an injury check. No matter how badly I'm hurt. I'll stay in the hospital. Let your Aunt Wu experience taking care of someone.
Xingxia, don't fall for her trick.
Zheng Chenyu, why aren't you saying anything?
Quick, stop the making then.
You are hurt.
Tianjin, you are injured. Mom will bandage your wound.
Let me do it.
Yeah.
But you're Jewish. She's good at taking care of people.
Xingxia, calm down. They'll get divorced. It's just a matter of time.
You still care?
I'll move out tonight.
That's right.
Who sent these? It's from the man who sent you back.
Peter Kang, do you mind? If you do, agree to the divorce. Let's not waste each other's time. What are you doing?
Kang Jian, are you crazy? Do you know what you are doing?
You are my wife. You haven't fulfilled your duties yet.
Yes.
On her wedding night, you left me alone in the empty room. You've always pushed me away, ignored me, rejected me. What are you doing now? Do you regret it?
Tianjin, what are you guys doing? Is your hand okay?
Aren't you always nagging about getting a divorce?
Why are you still clinging to my...
Mom, it's me who's been pestering Bai Yan.
Do you know what you were saying?
Mom, you and Auntie Wu go back to the provincial capital tonight. I'll arrange someone to see you off.
You are kicking me out? With this bitch? You are taking me out! You are really under this woman's spell!
Bai Yan. Sorry. Made you suffer.
Come good in this family. As long as I am here, no one will be happy. Let's break on.
Bai Yan, we won't separate. Let's live well. What kind of life do you want? I can give it to you. Even if you are just using me, I am willing.
Kang Jian can also be so helpless.
Am I really that important to you?
More important than you think.
Let me think about it.
Don't follow me.
Are you getting in the car or not? More important than you think.
Kang Jian, which one is the real you?
Thank you. Lily. Right? Lily, why did you come out alone? Isn't that true?
Jian. How could you treat your mom like this?
Jian, have you forgotten how Mom became paralyzed?
Over 20 years.
It was Bai Mei, that old fox who seduced your dad, abandoning his wife and son.
I couldn't take it.
Then tried to jump off a building but didn't die and ended up like this.
Xingxia.
The patient wants to die. Here is no will to live. It's hard to save her.
Xingxia, wake up. Don't scare me. As long as you come back to life, I'll stay by your side all my life. We won't get divorced. I know I was wrong, Xingxia.
Mom, please don't leave me. I'll definitely make you happy.
That's right. Zheng Chenyu is calling you. Can you hear me?
You definitely make me happy.
That's what I've been living on.
I know. For the sake of Bai Yan, that little vixen, you were gonna let this family destroyed again. Are you gonna do Mom again?
Jian, you said you'd make that bitch suffer the humiliation Xingxia endured. You'd make him fall in love with you. After you've had your fun with him, you'd kick him out. If he behaves well, you'd keep her to serve Mom.
Mom, things are different now than back then. Bai Yan.
This is the real reason you married me.
Bai Yan, please listen to my explanation.
24 years ago, my mother ruined your parents' relationship, right?
It wasn't 24 years ago. It's your mom, that bitch.
Even now, she's still ruining my relationship.
You married me. Just to make your mom a bit happier, right?
Bai Yan.
Can't you? You didn't do anything wrong. To make your mom happier. It's right. The daughter pays for the mother's. That's only natural. That's all I deserve.
Bai Yan.
I'm moving out.
Yes.
If you casually go to my hometown, Yanxin, and ask about my background, you'll definitely not want to associate with me.
Your background. Secretary Jian already looked into it.
Who is it?
Oh, let's have a chat. Wait a minute.
Why are you here?
I have something to ask you.
Big. Before I married Kang Jian, why didn't you tell me that you once slept with Kang Yunlin? You once caused his wife to jump off a building and commit suicide.
I've already warned you, your marriage won't last more than 6 months.
Is that a warning? It's clearly just sarcasm. You knew very well that the more you opposed me, the more I'd do it well. You deliberately provoked me to marry Kang Jian.
You are right in your analysis. I just want you to marry Kang Jian.
Why?
What do you think? I hate that paralyzed woman, since she chose to jump off the building. Why didn't she die completely? She's such an eyesore living in this world. If it weren't for her, now Kang Yunman's wife would be me. This grudge, how can I let it go? After all these years, his son actually came to me in person. How could I easily let that woman go? I am going to be her mother-in-law. I'll make her think about the thing that happened 24 years ago. In pain, in agony, never at peace.
You even wanted to get married. I thought, after sleeping with so many men, you'd be disappointed in men.
You came from Binzhang just for this.
Bai Mumai, I am back today to cut ties with you. You ruin other people's relationships without a shred of guilt. Having a mother like you makes me sick.
If you don't listen to me, don't shed a single tear in front of me.
小九阳，小九远。
Tomorrow?
Cigarettes. We can't choose our parents. But as long as we live our lives steadily, we can have a good life. We can live a good life. Xiaoyuan, don't cry. The world out there is big. There will always be someone who understands you, sees your goodness, and cherishes you. 再见。百言为教，I am Yanxin. 百言为教。It's 明天。
The temperature is 39 degrees. There are rails in the lungs. Get ready for a penicillin skin test. Call Mr. Kang and tell him. She's already in the hospital. T here is no need to look for her everywhere.
You're back. Yar! Sorry. Wasn't really mad at you. I was just too sad that day. I shouldn't have snapped at you. It's all Kang Jian's fault. He let you down.
Kang Ji, you mean Xiaoyan's marriage is unhappy?
It's more than that. She's been robbed a lot. Kang Jian has another woman. But they're getting divorced recently. After the divorce, Yaner will be free.
Take good care of Xiaoxia. I'll go out and do something.
Found Bai Yan.
Yes, Madam is in Binzhang number 1 People's Hospital.
Kang Jian, let's talk. Another day. I am Bai Yan's childhood friend.
Mr. Kong, have checked Zheng Mingxin's information. He's a lieutenant colonel in the 117th Brigade.
Kang Jian, sign here. Xiaolian doesn't want any of your property. She just wants a divorce. She'll leave the marriage with nothing.
Who do you think you were to ask me to sign this?
Using revenge and deception to get this marriage. To deal with Bai Yan in this sinister way, a weak woman. Kang Jian, are you even a man?
I'm really not willing to stand here and talk to someone like you, a hypocrite. I am doing this for Xiaoyan. Decided.
Got legs.
No. Kang Jian! Do you think the world will spin as you want? You go back on your word and others will fall into your arms? Let me tell you, it's not gonna happen. That's what's so fascinating. Don't even think about it. This day, you are not heavy, really. Just think.
Yeah, you are finally awake! Jing, do you forgive me? I know it's not your fault, but to hear is an important thing. Ming Jian, he seems to have gone to see your husband.
What?
Tomorrow! You are crazy. You actually hit Kang Jian. You hold a high position. You are likely to lose your job. I'll go back.
You have to. No matter what happened, I'll take the blame myself.
But,
Madam, Mr. Kang wants you to go home now.
Okay. Don't beg him.
don't worry. Go get checked out. I'm fine.
Bai Yan!
Where are your mom and the others?
I sent them back.
Shang Mingtian really hit hard today.
You are finally back.
I'll get you some medicine.
No need, Situ.
You and Shan Mingzhen? What's your relationship?
Yeah, he's a neighbor, a friend, a senior. A senior.
T here is more to it, right? He's the one who sent you the paper roses. He's the one who gave you the paper roses.
Yes.
You are worried about him.
Leader Kang, I'll apologize to you on his behalf. Since childhood, whenever I was wrong, you'd always help me like this.
Can you scan the class bell QR code?
If I do something to him, what will you do?
Will that work? It's already too late to explain.
Leader Kang, you are so tolerant and magnanimous. How could you argue with him?
It's fine.
You are begging me. You never used to do this.
Because I met you.
Boss, take your anger out on me.
Fine, go ahead.
Don't make things difficult for him, okay?
It was unreasonable. I always jumped in. I was too foolish.
You do.
It wasn't love.
You really care about each other. In your hearts, I am just a big bad guy.
You are not a bad guy. You've had a hard life too.
You are not a bad person.
Just pretending.
You've had a hard life too.
Pretend I was overreacting.
Bai Yan, why can't you just tell me? The one you love is Shang Mingzhen.
The one I've loved from beginning to...
Is you. But now I don't love you anymore.
I don't love anymore. It's not hate. Oh, don't claim. Stop pretending. I forgive it all, then keep it all away from you. The answer is simple, painfully simple. You.
What do you agree to?
Because
I don't want a wife whose heart is filled with another man. I agree to the divorce.
The rain
fingers.
On our wedding day, you couldn't find me. I was hiding behind this tree.
Yellow swirl, this might be the last in this space.
Looking back now,
It seems like a dream.
This dream,
Oh, I didn't make it perfect.
they embrace headlong.
how could that be? Having an ex-husband like you is a 1 in 100 deal. You left with nothing.
That hurting moment.
Afraid I get the short end of the stick.
Okay. You said you wanted a home. Then what I gave, does it count?
Under a starry sky.
It does. Of course it does. This home, may Louise all cherish.
Want to hold.
Kang Jian, don't be stuck in the past. You should have a new life, a new family.
Their faces
For you?
I will
这只能有点
rewrite the story. Yeah. Want to hold you deep in. Afraid to let you see the tear that won't fall from my lips. This is our final page Could I rewrite the story?